Hey everybody, welcome. We're on episode 14 already, which is completely crazy. And today we're going to talk about the art and science of marketing. And I have a very special guest with me, Angel Anderson from Smarketing Results. Just a quick introduction. Angel is the marketing manager that you hire if you just want to turn the reins over and know that your return of investment is going to be there. He's a local fella, sort of new to the area, wonderful guy. I've got to know him recently. Love him to death. And here's a toast. We drink whiskey together. So, hey, welcome to the show, Angel.
Thank you for inviting me, Crystal. How are you today?
Hey, I'm doing well. I have to tell you, the last time we talked, you went on this very small tangent about how marketing it's really part art and part science. And I was completely enamored with that. So I'm super glad that you agreed to come on and talk about that today.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I see it that way, and I know I'm not the only one. The science part comes into the numbers, seeing the numbers and understanding. And I tell my clients that what you and I know means shit if we can prove it. That's why you do. By the way, we can say bad words, right?
Of course we can. Yeah, hey, hell yeah.
I don't say too many, but yeah, the art comes into your experience, your skills, how you craft the message, the pictures you take, the videos that you create, how you communicate and connect with people. But that is the experience. But the art comes, some people say it's hand in hand. I say the art comes after the science. We have to post, share content, and then measure what works in order to see what we're going to improve. In my opinion, for what I've seen I've been doing this since 2003, so the last 17 years, is that it's a lot of posting, but not improvement, not continuous improvement. And it just is a waste of time. Do you agree?
Absolutely. And I see what you did there. You incorporated some art and science and a few little camera angles there. But I was totally a fan the minute you said it. Of course, I was a psychology major in college, so that may be why I think it's very science heavy. So kind of just dig in a little bit about that to the audience, and maybe talk a little bit about the parts of maybe the art aspects that you think are more important, or just kind of, talk about whatever you think is important here.
So let's start with a little bit of what we're doing right now, video, because we can talk about pictures, we can talk about Facebook, anything you want, but we're doing video. And the virtual meetings are common. So what is the art of it? What is the art of it? The art of it is how you present yourself on video. The science is the Zoom that we use it, and how we connect it, or how automated you can make it. For example, I sent you a link. You clicked on it, you picked the day and time that you were available, and you booked it. And the science automated everything for me and put it on my calendar. But when the art comes into play is when you start seeing how I'm going to reset the viewer's attention on a video. And we can do things like we're doing right now, switching an angle, because then it catches your attention, or adding a little bit of movement. Or the art could be, what is the emotion that you want people to feel when they are seeing your video or picture? And talking about pictures, because you can take a picture, that doesn't mean, because you can hit press and record or take a picture, doesn't mean that you can take a good marketing picture or a good video for picture. The framing, the branding, the angles, how you reset people's attention, that you communicated what you wanted to communicate. And I'm not saying that I am the best communicator, but that's something that I'm striving to improve with frequency, not only in the way I talk to people, which we can do through Toastmasters meetings, to impromptus and putting yourself out there, but also writing and reading and just trying to improve yourself a little bit. That would be the combination of the arts and science. We can talk about open rates, or sending an email. You send an email, you look how many people open. Do that matter? Of course, but many people don't look open rates. They don't look click-through rates. Going back to Facebook, a lot of people who just post and post and post, and either will they overbrand themselves in some cases, and there is nothing wrong with self-promotion, but there has to be some value from the customer point of view. And that's where I think it gets lost in the art. So the science is just looking at numbers, and the art when it comes into it, like meaning, for example, I say this line, I don't like to use it all the time because I don't like to see clients as fish or as leads. I see them as people. But for example, if you fish, you bait the hook with what the fish likes, not with what you like. If not, you're not gonna catch anything. And you see people constantly posting and posting, and then, oh, social media is not working for me. Well, you are not baiting the hook with the right bait, and it might be good value from your point of view, but it's not from their point of view. And here's another point. You and I have been to an emergency room. You've been to the emergency room, correct?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you go to the emergency room with what you think is an emergency, and they tell you, go ahead, fill this out, sit there, and we call you when we need you. However, somebody with a gunshot wound or something really, like, let's say a gunshot wound comes in and they squeeze in right in without waiting. And if you start seeing marketing that way, you start qualifying customers in a better way. Because marketing is just like sales, is a process of qualification and disqualification. If your message doesn't attract, like for example, the headline. If your headline doesn't attract the right customer, whether it's a warmly, coldly, meaning, somebody that doesn't know you might need to write your headline in a way that is that describes the pain that they are facing. If somebody knows you, you might describe your product. If it's a warmly, but if it's an existing client, you might describe it as a benefit. And there are different ways that you can approach that. But if you don't test how you're doing your marketing, or what audience is coming to your Facebook and interactive. For example, I'm keep using Facebook, but it's across the board with blog posts, with YouTube videos, et cetera, et cetera. I'll give you an example. I did a blog post about the Pareto principle yesterday. And the exact same blog post that I published in my website, I uploaded a video of it, and it has a completely different title on YouTube. And the reason is that YouTube people search, they don't know me, they're finding me based on a problem. So I achieve better effort or achieve better marketing with less effort. And it has 6 views, only 6 views yesterday, and already got a client. And it goes by, what is that you're posting? What is marketing supposed to do for you? What is marketing supposed to do for your client? I know I'm going on a tangent. I'm passionate about it, but feel free to jump in at any time.
Well, I hear what I think I'm hearing, and 2 really important things. And, a lot of the people that are watching it are do-it-yourself marketers trying to figure things out. And there's 2 really bottlenecks where they struggle. And you're preaching to that choir right now. And that's, you're doing things for your audience, not for yourself. So you have to know your target market and how they think and how they act, but you have to understand the analytics. So I just want to make sure that I'm understanding, and everyone at home understands it, is that you're saying everything needs to be focused on how to get in front of the right clients, who those best clients are for you, and how do you understand all the data to know where those things need to be changed?
100%. People need to know who they want to deal with, and then let's dive deep into that, because that's an art and a science. The science of qualifying first of all, knowing who you want to do business with, and the number one problem, the number one mistake, and that is cause lack of traction on marketing for most people, is that they don't define their ideal customer, because in their mind, I can serve everybody. But the challenge is, you're not Nike, you're not Playboy, you're not Amazon, you don't have the budget to target everybody, and your time and resources are limited. So you gotta pick the one that you can help immediately, that you can provide the most value immediately. And then once you do that, the challenge, once you define it, is, okay, how I'm going to write this headline that is going to capture the attention of this person. And there's a good exercise that a lot of us don't do, which is writing 25 headlines before we settle in one. And 9 times out of 10, that's a copywriting exercise that a lot of people, including myself, don't do often enough. We just think of a headline, we have a framework, or we use whatever we want to use, and we just stick to it. And we are not doing it. We're not helping ourselves by not writing multiple headlines to see which one will work. And you can test them. You can send one headline via email and see how many people open it. And next week, guess what? Send a different headline. And next week, the following week, send a third one. And you have the winning one and stick to it. Another way that you can do that in the sign, talking about the signs, is that you run an ad and you create the ad with 3 different headlines and you get the winning one. That means if you don't have enough traffic in your website, because if you have enough traffic, you can have A/B split test on your blog post, and that's one way. But also think about, is this audience that is coming to me know me? Is cold audience, and then how I'm going to. They don't know about me, so why I'm going to talk about myself or my results if they don't know? They have a problem, or maybe they're not aware, or maybe they're looking at a solution, and you want to start playing with that in the headlines. And once you capture their attention, then the art comes into play with your video, with your image, with how you write your message, and we can talk about this for forever. But yeah, and that is one mistake, not defining the audience. And once you define the audience, don't be afraid. You can't help everybody. And if you are oversubscribed, that means that you have more business that you can handle, then make a choice. Either raise your prices or hire more people. It's really up to you, but it's not, if you don't do it, you will never know how many opportunities are slipping through the cracks. And that's one, you have to define your audience. And then how am I going to capture the attention of this audience from the customer's point of view? What are their values? What is the demographic? All those things matter. And this again, I love talking about this, so I'm sorry if I'm going on a tangent. This is one of the things that I'm passionate about it.
It's good information.
But here's the other mistake that people make, and what it prevents them from, I will say, real growth, is that they focus on the wrong numbers. Most people focus on likes and shares, which they are indicators, but those real numbers can hide. I was talking with a local business, and I'm not going to name drop it. It's in our local community. These people have been on business for more than 3 years, and this is the first time that they can write a paycheck for themselves in 3 years. And you know how big? Give me a guess. Tell me how much you think that check was.
Was it? I mean, was it a monthly check, a yearly check? What?
One time.
The first time they wrote themselves a check from their business.
$25.
What?
So you can have a lot of businesses that might look successful on social media that are not profitable. To the contrary, I've worked with businesses, and again, let's not name drops because it's not right, that they have an insane amount of negative BBB reviews. Every time that they post on Facebook, people just say you are a crappy business, but they are profitable. And the challenge is for the mistake, the number 2 mistake that I see, that businesses focus on the wrong numbers. So if you need more business, why are you worrying about likes and shares? You should be worrying about reaching more people, whether it's through an ad that you reach more people, whether it's through making yourself discoverable, or allowing people to find you on YouTube, on Google. Remember, a lot of people focus on Facebook, but when you do a Google search, no Facebook post shows up. And I think this has been an eye-opener during the COVID time, during this time, to a lot of local businesses that are telling me, oh, Angel, my business is working out. I'm like, okay, so double down on that one. But what about Facebook? Are you getting anything from Facebook? No. So why you worry about it? Double down in what works.
Yeah.
Don't keep dragging the progress. You cannot be the chokehold for your business progress. You cannot be the reason why your business stopped growing. It's not.
Makes complete sense. And two things really jumped out at me when you were talking there. Everybody means nobody. If you really think that you can cater to everybody, serve everybody, and market to everybody on a budget, you're not really going after anybody. It's too diluted. Your messages are too mixed, right? Another thing that you said that really the science of it is just churning in my brain here. You can try this at home if you don't believe us on this. Go out and find 30, 40 different people in your friends list. You can say the same thing in different ways, but it only is impactful to some people. So say a phrase to 30, 40 different people and see their reaction, and then say that phrase worded in a different way 2, 3, 4 times. You'd be surprised what different personality types are attracted to different things, and that matters when you're getting your message and your strategy going.
Rejection is a powerful thing. Even that sometimes we verbalize that we don't care what other people say, but it bugs, even for a few seconds, it bugs us. And as a business owner, especially when your business is not thriving, people tend to make these mistakes, meaning, I gotta, reach everybody and they sound desperate. And you can if you have the resources and the budget, but the reality is most of these small businesses, and especially local businesses, don't have the resources or budget. So what can we do? What can they do? Define your ideal customer. That's number one. If you don't know how to define your ideal customer, if you have existing customers, look at the best customers that you have and try to identify characteristics. Are they married? What are the age range? Where they live, etc., etc. Demographics and physical characteristics, income bracket, where they hang out, etc., etc. And then you can also, do value. Are they pro-military, or are they Republican, Democrat? You can start doing those type of things. And once you define that, you start with the message that attracts them, but also your message, what you're trying to sell or what you want to sell, it piggybacks a ride. It's a ride along. It catch a ride with the message. For example, lately I've been focusing more on family. My audience, my best clients are family oriented. They have kids. They work and they don't want to take businesses post Saturdays and Sundays. They don't want to talk to anybody at night, and those are my best clients. And when I post pictures of myself, my wife, or kids, it just goes crazy. But I have to make sure that my message it catch a ride with what I'm saying. If not, I'm just posting for the sake of posting, and it's not moving the needle toward my goal. And so, because, if you don't define your clients, you will be talking to a lot of people that cannot afford you, that are not ready to do business, unless you don't have the time. You don't have all the time in the world to cater those people. And the second one that we were talking about is true. You're going to talk to a lot of people that are nice, very nice, and they need your help, but they can't afford you, and you're going to go out of business. So you have to make a conscious decision that, hey, my attention goes, like yesterday, I posted, my clients are good, family is good, nice time to help other people. And that was a subtle message that, hey, I'm going to, ask for help. And that's what I posted, a message that, let me see if I can share that. I'm not going to open the computer, but I shared some posts like that. They will, only some people think that asking for help is a sign of weakness, but it's not. And you make sure that your message catch it right with that. The second one we were talking about, it was catching people's attention, like knowing, they know you, so they don't know you, it's a cold audience, or they know of you, but they don't know the benefit, or they don't know about your products and services. And that's when you start writing the headlines And there are plenty of resources out there about learning how to write our headlines. I don't consider myself an expert. I still make a ton of mistakes when it comes to writing headlines. I know enough to make damage in everything that I do. And this is the habit that you can get to. Everything that you do, you want to make sure that somehow you can track it. But not everything is worth tracking. And I'm going to leave it with that caveat.
That's
You want to
very good
track,
advice.
you want to track as much as possible, but not everything is worth tracking. You can get caught up in the minute of, I need to track X, Y, Z, or I need to track everything. Links, posts, share, open rate. It tells you information. So track something that you can make a decision on. Should I do it again? I've shared posts with the exact same post with just 3 images. So one post with 1 image, and I changed the image in the other one. And just 1 image, it meant 61 likes to 400 and some to over 1,000. Just 1 image, the exact same post, the exact same audience. So there is a lot of things that you can do once the audience, the art comes into play. And then the science is just about testing. I wanted to test what image or what type of image my audience was more attracted to, or this one was for a client, what his audience was more attracted to. And guess what? Now that we found the winner one, we just kept duplicating, and we keep measuring until we see the peak. When we see a plateau, when we see the peak flatten at the top, then we say, okay, it's time to change. But I've run ads and I've run posts and I've used headlines sometimes for over a year, and they don't minimize in power. But once you start seeing the power, it's time to change it. And that's, the art and science.
That's awesome. And that's right. We hit right about the 20-minute mark. So it's almost like you planned that, which we didn't really plan it at all. No. So before we wrap up, is there any message or quote or anything that you kind of want to give in closing as we wrap up here? Any powerful message that you have?
So I started a new two. One that I always like to repeat is, if an image is worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 1,000 images or pictures, however you want to call them. But as much as you can, use video, 100%. And the second one is, I started a new project. I started documenting good marketing habits. So if you can find it, at the latest blog post on angelanderson.com, or you can go to goodmarketinghabits.com. And if you want to receive marketing habits or marketing tips based on research. And like I mentioned earlier, I posted one about the Pareto principle, which is one that I'm pushing to my clients and people that I help with, which is curate 80% of your content and create only 20% of your content. You curate what works. And if you need to create something, it's because you want to expand on that topic. You want to add something that you learn, or you just want to create something new. But curate 80%, create 20%.
And I'm a fan of the Pareto principle. I've done a lot of talks and a couple podcasts on that. So I know the URL to your blog post. So what we'll do is we'll make sure to make a pinned post. So for anybody that's interested, look below in the pinned comments, and we'll put the information on where you can find Angel's blog, where you can get to his website to reach out to him. Thanks so much for watching. I love how great the show's going. Just remember to subscribe so you can get more crazy stuff like this and all the other insane shit that I put up on videos. So Angel, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Really, really good stuff. So I can't wait for our audience to see this.
Thank you.